Welcome back to Before You Do with Verlyn. I'm your host and favorite premarital coach, Verlyn Tarlton. Thank you for joining me today. And I have a question for you. Are we raising sons and daughters that will not only function in society, but will make good husbands and wives? And I'm asking that because as I look around, things are looking a little bleak in our culture. And I don't mean my age group, but those that are coming behind me. Maybe those are in their 30s and definitely teenagers. All right. I have a son who's in his mid 30s and I have twin boys who are 17. And when I look around, I'm just wondering what is going on in our culture as moms, because primarily I speak to women. Are we really considering that we're not raising sons? They are our sons, but we are raising somebody's husband, hopefully, and we're raising someone's father. And if we think about that, first of all, we will think a lot harder about the mate that we choose. Whoever we choose to have children with or whoever we choose to marry and start a family, we need to really consider, is this someone I want to raise children with? Is this someone who will deposit into them those things who will not only make them productive members of society, but will also, again, be good men, good and great husbands, good and great fathers? This is something that we need to definitely reconsider. I know that most of us think about, let's get married, and does he meet these requirements? And we're not even going to talk about the high value man. We're just going to talk in general. How many times do we think about, is this someone we want to have children with? Is this someone we want to help us raise our sons and our daughters? Is this someone that if we have a son, I want my son to emulate? Is this someone that if we have a daughter, that I want my daughter to look for someone just like him? These are questions that we have to ask ourselves if we want to continue to grow and advance in society. And I don't mean to just exist as we're doing, especially in these gender wars, but we want to advance. We should always be looking for the next generation to be better than the current generation. And with this chat GPT, I'm not sure how that's going to work out, right? But nonetheless, I'm saying we have men out here who are saying there are no good women. And then we have women out here who are saying there are no good men. And then we have teenagers or young adults, 18, 19, 20, who are saying, what is going on? Is there any hope for me? And I understand, because if you're social media watching or you are mainstream media watching, you would think that there is no hope. So again, if you have younger children that you are bringing up, moms, dads, but especially moms, please consider you are raising potentially someone's husband. You are potentially raising someone's father. How you deal with them, how you raise them, how you speak with them, how you teach them, how you train them will have a lasting effect on the women that they get with and the men that they raise, right? We are not raising sons. They may be our sons, but we are raising someone's husband. We are raising someone's father or someone's dad. Okay? We are raising great men in society, great men in general. And so think about that. Are you teaching them how to treat a lady? Are you teaching them to the best of your ability their responsibilities? Are you teaching them what they should and should not put up with? I'm not saying this is all one-sided. And this is an example. As I said, I have a grown son who's doing his thing in the dating, but I have twin sons who are 17. And I am in constant conversation with them about moving and being safe in this world. Number one, I'm always explaining to them that it's a big Me Too movement. All right. And that Me Too movement, they need to steer clear of. Meaning what? They need to make sure they are in public spaces. They need to make sure they're not dilly-dallying and stuff that they have no business being in. We have to warn our sons of what's going on in this world so they will not be caught up. I have told them, don't find yourself in a compromising situation so that somebody can come back later on in a week, a month, or a year, or a decade and say you did ABC to them. You did ABC with them. Those types of conversations that are not popular, that are not easy to have, right? But we need to be having them with our sons, teaching them how to treat ladies with respect, right? With dignity, to treat them the same way they want their sisters treated, the same way they want their mother, aunt, grandmoms treated. That's what we need to be teaching them. In addition, I teach my son, you do not have to be taken advantage of. And what do I mean? This is a huge thing I hear about these coffee dates. I have no objection to coffee dates. I think coffee dates are great. I think it's a great way to weed out whether or not you want to see the person, be bothered, and not have to spend hundreds of dollars, right? And so I tell my sons, you are not required, nor are you obligated to take a woman out to the most expensive restaurants to get her hair done, to get her nails done, feet done, teeth done, nothing. You can easily take a lady out if she's interested in just knowing you to get a cup of coffee. Because imagine if you are dating on a regular 4 or 5 times a month and you had to spend $100 or $200. What? That's a whole budget breaker right there. And I'm not saying that they should not be prepared to do that. But in context, you do that, you made that type of investment with someone that you're in a relationship with, not with somebody you're taking out for the first time, spending $200, $300 on eating and all the hoopla around that. And you may not see that person again. So no, I am not teaching my sons that they are required to spend hundreds of dollars on a woman because she's saying, I need my hair, my nails, and my toes done if you want to date me. Or I need to go to a 5-star restaurant. That's my story. I'm sticking with it, right? If you want to do something, I'm just telling you how I'm training my sons. I don't want my sons taken advantage of, and I don't want my daughters taken advantage of. And so that's why I'm saying, as parents, we need to be directing them on how to move in this world, how to stay safe, what to look for in a spouse, in a mate, to consider that when they marry somebody, they will have children most likely. And again, is this somebody they want to have children with? Okay. I'm teaching my sons that no level of disrespect is warranted, nor should it be tolerated. The same way I'm teaching my daughter that. The same way I'm showing her no one should ever put their hands on you. She does not see that in our home with my husband, her dad, and she doesn't see it anywhere else that I know of. And so that is a deal breaker. And I'm teaching these things, but I'm also telling her, hey, you have to respect men. You have to respect your man. You can't go with this attitude where we just want to fight and we've got to say something. And no matter what idea is presented, there's rebuttal. And no matter how we are trying to move together, we've got to fight just because I don't want to give in or I don't want to submit, right? I'm explaining submission is just another way of talking about cooperating. That if you have two people who have to always be right and fight, you'll never have peace. It's okay to cooperate. It's okay to submit. It's okay to work together because everybody has a role, everybody has a function. And if everyone does their function, then you will make things work. These are things we have to teach our children. Ladies, if you are a mom or an aunt or a grandma, we should be having these kind of talks. Are you showing or teaching your daughters, your nieces, your granddaughters, if you're raising them, how to treat a man? Not just respect, although that is paramount. If any marriage is going to work, it has to be rooted in love and respect. Cooperation, as I said, the ugly word submission that we don't like to hear. But are you teaching them how important cooperation is? That when you're trying to build, you have to have cooperation. You have to have some level of compatibility, meaning your core values need to be aligned. The same thing. I'm teaching my sons, look, there are some things you need to know up front. There are such things as deal breakers. Okay. And that's individual to whatever you think a deal breaker is. But yes, they're deal breakers. Disrespect is a deal breaker. Any woman who wants to just be out there, as they say, in the streets, that's a deal breaker. You want a wife. But guess what? These habits don't form like a miracle when you get married. These habits have to be instilled or taught or talked about so that you're moving in a way where you're already moving like a wife or you're carrying yourself like a wife. If you are a male, you're carrying yourself like a husband. You're moving like a husband would do. And that way you attract the right person because you're both looking for the same things. I tell my daughter, if the yo boys are trying to holler at you, those who have their pants hanging down to their buttocks and looking like the yo boys look, I don't want to say anything offensive. If they are yo boys and if they are trying to talk to you and get with you, then that means you need to do self-evaluation. And I tell my sons the same thing, although it's not as prevalent. One thing for sure, things are a lot more aggressive than they used to be in terms of male and female relations. And that's another whole story. So again, what I'm saying, constantly consider how you are moving as a parent and how you are moving in terms of raising your sons and raising your daughters. Make sure you are raising honorable, marriage material sons and daughters. We really need to do our part to reevaluate where we are putting our emphasis in terms of how we're raising our children and how we are projecting onto them what they will eventually project on to others. Thank you for listening. I ask that you would please share this video with a couple of people. All right. If you know someone who's interested in getting married, already married, newlyweds, on the dating scene, make sure you share this video. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button. That always helps. Again, I appreciate you joining me. I have a website, verlyntarlton.com. Make sure you visit it for plenty of freebies. And also, I have a couple's vision board template. So if you are engaged and you're looking to make some plans, it's a good resource for you to use. And I also have a free digital magazine that is amazing, that will help you in your journey as you're looking to get married and be and do better. Thank you for joining me again. May you experience extraordinary love. Bye for now.